Hey everyone, Reid Henrichs of the Valley Ridge, and today we're gonna have a chit chat. I'm out here on my range, just chilling down at the bench. Got my range right there in the background, got my cigar, everything's good to go. It's been a busy week. It's been a real busy week. Been a real busy week for Congress. The last 2 days, literally today and yesterday, the Democrats and some turncoat Republicans, not many, but some. There's 2 gun control bills that passed out of the House, actually passed a vote, and these are all focused on background checks, as if this would have prevented anything from happening. Of course it wouldn't. It's needless legislation that further erodes the Second Amendment. I hope that it's dead on arrival in the Senate, and of course President Trump said that he would veto both of them. But the very fact that they're gutsy enough to push this stuff forward when they've got one chamber of House should be telling. You know, those of you that cherish the Second Amendment, and I know that I most certainly do. I think it's the most important amendment because without it, everything else is just words on a piece of paper. You know, the Second Amendment is the teeth of the rest of the Bill of Rights, and really it's the teeth of the Constitution because it keeps government at bay. But these people are nuts, and I'm sure that if you've been paying attention to the last couple of months, you know, that just how crazy that they are. I mean, they are truly, truly brave new world communist utopians. I mean, that's what they believe in. And one of the reasons why I do what I do, which is train people how to protect themselves and their family and their country in the use of firearms, my main motivation for this is to make sure that government never overreaches on their agreement. Now, we know throughout history that government has overreached. We know throughout history that they have taken and demanded more power. And people are dumb enough to give it to them. People are dumb enough to give government's power. And you know, I don't know about you, but there's a disturbing trend in this country that people are voting themselves more things. They're voting themselves more things, and when they vote themselves more things at the behest of the government, they are granting the government more power and further eroding individual responsibility and freedom. That's just the way it goes. Now, I know most of you watching this video, I've got a lot of people in their 70s and 80s, a lot of baby boomers, a lot of Gen Xers, a lot of people even younger than that. Understand something, guys. This purpose of this video isn't to get political. The purpose of this video is to cause you to reflect internally on what it means to be an American, what it means to have individual responsibility and individual freedom. And I think the right to keep and bear arms is the ultimate responsibility. It's an individual responsibility to himself, his family, his state, and his country if need be. If you know, there's rebellion or insurrection or sedition. You know, and we look at that. We look at the problems that we face today in the country, and they're most certainly not external, outside of our boundaries. A lot of the problems we face today are internal. Folks, we got 4 boxes that we vote with, right? Or that we use in our political process. We got the ballot box, the soap box, the jury box, and the cartridge box. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard this before. So the soapbox is the politicians and the newscasters getting up there and, you know, running their mouths and saying what they promised to do and what they're going to promise all their constituency, and, you know, they're placating their talking points and all that stuff. That's a soapbox. It's most of the time just words. But you know what? I got to take my proverbial hat to the Democrats. You do exactly what you say you're going to do. When you tell people that you're going to further erode people's rights, you get right in there and get busy. And in fact, the Democrat Congress did more in 2 months than the Republican Congress did in 2 years. So my hat's off to you for remaining the rabid individuals that hate freedom that you are. So I do have to give it to you. Now, Republicans, I'm not giving you a pass either. People say, man, Reid, you criticize the Democrats, but you don't criticize the Republicans. Well, like, the Republicans are like the, and please don't take this the wrong way, because I've arrested, you know, wife beaters. I've put them in jail. But the Republicans remind me of a battered spouse. Like, they remind me of somebody that's just real, oh, I don't want to make anybody upset. It's like they don't know how to win. They're playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. And I know that this last election, you know, in 2016, you know, people wanted stuff changed, man. They were tired of the 8 years of Obama. And we suffered through 8 years. I know every day I woke up during his presidency, I was like, man, how much more freedom am I going to lose today? And, you know, that's what it felt like. Well, except for now, you know, you wake up, you read all the news stories, and it's like there's less and less and less and less and less choice at the federal and state level. So the soapbox is what it is. It's, you know, it's politicians satisfying their constituents, promises, you know, making promises, saying what they want to do, all that stuff. You know, the ballot box is where we go to vote. You know, that's where we go to vote. We go there and we cast our ballot for the person that we want to see in office, or at least the lesser of two evils sometimes. And, you know, we go and then the votes are what they are. And by the way, if you're a person that's watching this video and you're maybe in a red state or a red county and you're not registered to vote, please do, and get all your family and friends to register to vote if they're eligible. Please do that, because we're severely underrepresented. We're severely underrepresented, and I think that this next one coming up, 2020, this one's going to matter big time, folks, and it's time to get out there and time to get on the ballot box. The other one, of course, is the jury box. See, laws without a conviction are kind of useless, you know, if you got the people on the jury, and people always try to avoid jury duty and stuff, but, you know, you could be the one person on that jury that makes a difference between a bad law ruining someone's life and a bad law not mattering, because guess what? Jury nullification. I'm a big believer in jury nullification. If you live in a state like Massachusetts or California or New York, or Illinois, or anywhere else like New Jersey that has gun control, Connecticut, hell, the list keeps getting bigger and bigger all the time, doesn't it? You need to be on jury duty, and you need to make sure that if the person is accused of a crime that violates the Constitution, that you nullify that law. Hell, have them not guilty. Jury nullification is the way to go, man. And of course, the most unpleasant one to think about, most pleasant box to think about is the cartridge box. You know, we have to ask ourselves this question: has it happened in the United States before? Well, surely it has. It's happened many times in the United States where our citizens have had to go to the cartridge box. It happened many times. And I think it'll happen again in the future if things get too bad. I hope not. That's like one of my least enjoyable scenarios to think about. But we have to look at history in this country, and then we also have to look at what happened in this country when the British tried to enact gun control by force. What happened then? Well, it started the American Revolution, didn't it? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're at an odd part in American history. We're at a very odd crossroads where we see the encroachment on our freedom, we see the encroachment on our liberty, we see the vice tightening down. We know what the intent of the statist is. We know what their intent is. So, you know, I don't live in a spirit of fear. You know, I'm not afraid, oh man, what are we going to do? No, like, freedom isn't free. And a lot of generations of Americans had to earn their freedom. And then some earned it the easy way, some earned it the hard way. But either way, it's been a long time since Americans had to earn their freedom. And what we know about government is it will always grow, and they'll always take liberties with your liberty, and they'll further infringe on those. So this is a soul-searching video. And I know that there's conversations like this happening all over the country. How do I know this? I get all kinds of emails every day. With people, you know, expressing their concern over the direction of the country, expressing their concern over the gun control, expressing their concern over limited individual freedom that the door keeps closing and closing and closing. So, you know, my message out there to you all is, you know, we don't live in a spirit of fear. There's really nothing to be afraid of. What you should be is concerned and vigilant. Every time that these laws are attempted to be passed, and I think these gun control bills will be dead on arrival in the Senate, by the way, and Trump said he's vetoing them anyway. But either way, you got to ask yourself, you know, what kind of country do you want for your kids and for your grandkids and for yourself? You know, what kind of country do you want? Because sure as the day is long, there will be people that try to take away your firearms. And the next time somebody says no one's coming for your guns, show them one of the thousands of articles out there that proves otherwise. Because to say such at this point is just propaganda. I mean, they know it. This nation was born because of gun control. That's why the American Revolution started, was because of gun control. And I think that a lot of people kind of see that as the inevitable future of this country, that there's going to be attempted gun control. They're going to try to push this stuff through, and then, you know, patriotic Americans are going to have to make a decision as to what to do, because when you no longer have political representation that respects the Constitution, when you have a government that is designed to destroy the Bill of Rights, and make no mistake about it, if the Second Amendment goes, your First Amendment's gone. Your First Amendment's gone. Even the very fact that I have to temper what I say on this video, for, you know, I mean, that should tell you something. So I want you guys to understand that, you know, at this point, you need to be well read in our history, well read in natural rights, and proficient in the use of firearms, not only to protect yourself and your family, but your country. I mean, as a United States Marine, former United States Marine, as a law enforcement officer as well, I take my oath seriously, and that oath doesn't expire. And, you know, for me, it's, I affirm, you know, that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I think a lot of you have that same sentiment. A lot of you veterans out there and a lot of you law enforcement guys watching this. I know I got a lot of law enforcement, constitutionally minded law enforcement. People paint law enforcement with a broad brush, but most of the guys that I know, most of the guys that I know in law enforcement are constitutionally minded. Not all of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Never hurts to prepare, ladies and gentlemen. Never hurts to prepare. Never hurts to get good with what you got. It never hurts to get with like-minded people, and it never hurts to have these serious conversations with your family and with your friends. Never hurts to do that. Prepare and be aware of what's going on around you, because we've got time yet. We've got time. But how much time that is yet to be determined. So I hope this video reflects a lot of your views out there. And you're not alone. You're far from alone. Trust me on that one. But we know that when the storm clouds come, we know that there's going to be rain, just as you see right now. So folks, rather than frustration, put your energies into things that are going to benefit you. You know, put some of that food away to help your family in case of natural disaster. Put some ammo away, you know, in the event that, you know, there's a shortage of some type. And quite honestly, learn how to use what you got. And if you already know what you're doing, learn how to do it better. That's the bottom line. You know, that is what motivates me to do what I do, is keeping this country in adherence to the Second Amendment, which is a well-regulated militia. Well-regulated means well-run and proficient in the use of firearms, according to the 18th century definition of the word. So, hope this video was helpful for you all. If you like the information, subscribe to the channel. If you want to learn how to prepare, how to use your weapons, come on out to Valor Ridge. We can teach you how to do that. This is Reid Henrichs of Valor Ridge reminding you, the lessons that we learn are written on the tombstones of others. We'll see you on the ridge.